All right, Jessica, this is actually a pretty straightforward to remove the background. First, I'm going to download it. So now it's in the temporary files of my computer. And now I'm going to go to, I'm going to first try Background Burner. So I'm in Background Burner. I'm going to log in. You always have to log in. So it already saved my password and such. So remember me on this computer. Now I'm going to log in. All right. So now I'm logged in. And now I'm going to choose a photo. And I'm just going to go to, sorry about that. I'm going to choose date modified today. And there's the picture. I'm going to open it. And this may work well, or I may have to go to Photopea. Sometimes one works better than the other, depending on the image. So it's processing it. It's burning out the background. And it's actually pretty good, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, but I'm going to touch it up. So I want to touch it up. No, actually, I like this one. I'll select this one. And I'm going to touch it up. Okay. So by touching it up, I want to subtract. So I've decided I'm going to subtract over here. I don't need these background people. And I'll subtract over here. I don't need these background people. I'm going to subtract that. Okay, so that's pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here in this green box. And I'm going to download it as a PNG, Portable Network Graphic. Now, there's still extra stuff I want to take out, but it's a lot better than it was. So now I'm going to go to Photopea. And I'm going to click on Account. And I'm going to log in. So now it's logged in as me. That's really important. So File, Open. Again, go to Date Modified Today. There's your modified picture. I open it up and you can see how the background is clear. Now, this may be good enough for your collage, especially if your background is dark, but you may want to get a little bit more detail. So in this case, you may find that just using the magic wand tool does what you need it to do. So first off, let me find the magic wand tool. No, that's not it. Here. There you go. It's underneath here. So I'm going to just start hitting the back. I'm going to click on different areas and then hit backspace. And you can see how it's just taking out the background. Okay. And that's all you have to do. I mean, it doesn't have to be, for the purposes of this collage, it doesn't have to be perfect. But you can see how I'm using the magic wand and I'm clicking on little areas and I'm getting some stuff out of here. So the other thing that you can do is you can click on something with the magic wand and then hold the shift key down and click on another area and add to the selection. So as long as I'm holding the shift key down, I will add to my selection. So I can kind of surgically go through here and delete things. And then every once in a while, just hit the backspace key and all that extra stuff will disappear. So let's see. So most of the background's gone. It didn't really take me that long. If you find that it's taking long, another thing that you can do is just do select, deselect, so that it doesn't have any little area selected. And then take the eraser and just kind of surgically go in here. Now remember, all this is much faster when you're using the real Photoshop. A lot of times with Photoshop, you just do select subject and you can get a pretty accurate, exact selection. So in this case, because you're using Photopea, it's a little bit more tricky. And that's why I suggest that people, okay, so you see how it's selected a little bit too much here? If that happens, you can go to the quick selection tool and you can go to minus and you're saying, I'm going to subtract some of the selection. Or add to the selection. But anyway, sometimes just using the eraser is fine. And sometimes you can leave a little bit of background because you're making a collage and it's really not going to show. The other thing that you can sometimes do is, so with the eraser, you can go up here and you can modify the hardness of the brush. So I can actually create a brush with a soft edge. The eraser could have a soft edge so that you can get rid of stuff and it won't look as harsh. So that's another, and then if you mess up, just do Control Z. It'll undo it. But yes, if you can get a hold of Photoshop, that's a nice thing to have. I think this is good enough for the purposes of our assignment. So I'm going to just zoom out. So I click the zoom button and I click minus so I could zoom out. And I'm just looking to see if there's any stray areas that I left in. So this is kind of messed up. All right, so now I'm going to take this and it looks like our hood's a little messed up. Let me grab that. See how the magic wand is a hidden tool? And I'm just going to hit there and get rid of that. Select, deselect. So now I've got an entire layer with all this stuff and no background. And now I'm going to do File, Export as PNG. A PNG means it's got a clear background, okay? Now, before I export it as a PNG, I might want to resize it. So image size, and now look at the DPI. So I'm going to change the DPI to 300, and I'm going to change it from pixels to inches, and look how huge that is. It's a gigantic file. So I'm going to change that. Let's see. Let's make it like 8 inches tall and click the lock so it locks the aspect ratio. So now it's much more reasonably sized, but it's also higher resolution. And now I hit OK. And now I'm going to do File, Export as PNG, which is Portable Network Graphic. And that'll give me the clear background. And now I hit Save, and there it goes to my temporary downloads. So now there it is with no background. Okay, there's your image with no background. All right. So when you put it into Google Classroom, you'll see kind of this sort of grid pattern on the back. So I'm gonna save this screencastify, and I will send you your picture with the image with the background removed, and now you know how to do it. Okay. Let's see.